Good morning, everybody, and this is your S&P 500 day trade setups for today. So we're continuing to glide to the downside. We do have a fairly strong area of potential support just below us. This is kind of an inside bar, but we'd obviously need to break above that tail for that to play out. It is looking a little bit like a flag as well. We do have CPI data coming out today, so we've got German and USA CPI data coming out, so that could impact what's going on at the moment. And then the oscillators at the moment on the 8-hour have crossed over. As I said yesterday, it is a lower high, but we could have a pretty big diamond formation here as well. So what we mean by that is just draw a trend line along the top, follow that trend line there, and then you're going to do the same along the bottom. Not a pretty one, but nevertheless does give you some form of a structure here. So that's kind of a consolidation phase, can go either way. A real indication that it's going to go one way over the other. So if we start drilling down through the time frames, you're going to see that we are pretty much not doing anything now. The 3-hour, look at the oscillators, grouped, sort of separated and looking to cross over. And then, when I talk about the potential flag, there it is there. So we'd need to break above that level there. And remember, on the 8-hour, that was the top of the tail, which was up there. So that is the line in the sand for any longs on the 3-hour and the 8-hour time frames. We need to close above 41.34. Personally, I'm not entirely sure whether we're going to get that. Looking like a little bit of a spinning top here for another leg down, and we're not off structure as well. So I would expect us, I just want to fine tune this level here. I would expect us to come and tag this area here first before we start making decisions. So that is 41.16 or 41.17 actually would be the closer one. Looking at the hour, yesterday was pretty much a fall at the start, and then the USA session was just basically big up and big down. We're stuck in a range, we're stuck in a channel, we're going absolutely nowhere. We are waiting for data, and I suspect you'll probably find us come back down, either tag this level here or just create a lower high, a lower low, and come down to this 41.17 area. And then once the data's out, we'll know which way we're going to go. There have been some really horrendous results that have come through. Some stocks are getting hammered quite hard, but overall it hasn't been that bad. So we're not waiting on anything from earnings, and we're not looking to play anything on earnings. This is really just waiting for data, and you can see in amongst moving averages on the 15-minute, that is a clear sign that we are ranging. Now, early signals here, we do have a potential crossover of the moving averages here on the 15-minute. We'd have to see a break of some sort of structure, and unfortunately there is no structure here. I think early warning or early signal is going to be this 41.26, which is a little bit of a gap here, an opening gap from this morning. So for all intents and purposes, this is ranging. There's no indication that it's going to go any other way. Longs only come into play in a break above 41.34. So if you see price get above there, you're looking for a retest of this area, or you're looking for a retest of any structure that it breaks, and that's going to get you long. Shorts for me at the moment is going to be a break below 41.25. Say that with a little bit of apprehension, because there's a lot of structure here that was formed yesterday. So it's going to have to be 41.25. You need a proper break below that and a retest. But any one of these tails then would cause havoc for us. So a difficult one to call. I think flag play is probably the most logical one if it breaks above 41.34. Otherwise, sitting quietly on the sidelines, waiting to see what happens. You can see on the hour in amongst the moving averages. So we'd have to drop below the lows of yesterday, and I'd actually argue that 41.17 is actually the area that you need to pay attention to. start dropping below that, then you are targeting this area here at 41.05, probably round that off to 4100. So yeah, looking like a sit on hands day until the data comes out, and data should swing us in a direction. My bias, to be quite honest, is to the downside. I just have a feeling, you know, we've tried so long and so hard to get higher, and you can see, you know, everything is just not going according to plan for the bulls. I suspect this rally of Friday is in jeopardy at the moment. So in other words, move back down to what could be the start of a much bigger range. If it does break the structure that we've got from a diamond perspective, then also you could see something move even sharper. And then lastly, what I do suggest you do is go have a look at the Ichimoku and increase this a little bit. So this is really a good indication of, especially on the higher time frames, of what's going on the bigger trend. So quick crash course here. So when you are above the flag and you have the Tikan Sen, which is my blue line, above the Kijun Sen, which is my red line, and then this little brown line here, which is your Senku span, when that's above price, and then price is above these two levels, and you're above the cloud, typically your trend is the upside. So if you look at the daily, we've got quite a lot of resistance to the left if you look at the size of the cloud here. Now, if I just drop down to the 4 hour, you can see we're inside the cloud. We're in between the two, Kijun Sen and Tikan Sen. And where is you see, this is not quite, Chiku span is not quite, it's a sort of on price, but if it's below price, there's an issue. Flag is, sorry, the cloud is also flat. So this is just indication of range. You can see up and below the cloud. But what's going on here is starting to look like a potential rejection. So if it drops below the cloud, should move down to the bottom end here somewhere. And that is around 4100. So that's kind of just a quick, you know, overview of this, and you can see here on the hour we've got a potential move here. So we've got a potential crossover here, but we're in the cloud here. We're in a strong area of support. Look to the left, you'll see it line up the support, but everything else is leaning towards bearish. You've got a twist in the cloud, you've got Chiku span below price, you've got a crossover of Tikan Sen and Kijun Sen. So yeah, this is all looking like we have an opportunity to move to the downside. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Anyway, that's it for me today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.